This is the second.
You're listening to the official Reformed Stoic podcast, covering politics, philosophy, theology, conspiracy theories. I'm ready to get to the bottom of this life. Are you? Join Wolfgang, Sketty Squad, Purity Gang, as we strive to take dominion over this dying planet. I am Reformed Stoic, and this is my podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, number ones and number twos, it one, it twos. Let's start the show. Let's go. Well, I think we're going to have a lazy-paced Friday today. I'm sure we're all stuffed full of Thanksgiving food. Unless you're a loser and you didn't do anything like me. I'm so cool. I had Thanksgiving with people. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna have a low-key smear today. Nothing crazy. The intro's been the same for a long time. People like the intro. Someday I'll have a different intro, or at least an alternate intro. Maybe I'll go back and forth. Keep it fresh. All right, guys, let's get things started. Man, I did my old calisthenics circuit today. Reminded me about good old intensity. Obviously, the intensity in the other circuit I was doing was a lot lower, less reps, but for more sets over a longer period of time. It's nice for muscle endurance, but yeah, you got to work a little bit. Shove some reps in every set if you want to hit that intensity, build some muscle. So I'm feeling good. Back on track after Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm kind of thinking about playing some video games. I don't know if I want to stream it, though. And I always say that, and I always end up streaming it. I guess it just really depends what I feel like playing. I feel like playing something mindless, like something that's not quite as epic as an RPG. Just something where you can just jump right in and start playing, and it's not a big deal. I'm always down for Street Fighter 2. Y'all have already seen me beat Street Fighter 2 a number of times, but regardless, I suppose it's about time to get the show started. Walmart employees are going to describe the manager's reputation, the manager who was behind the Walmart shooting. So we're going to get some behind the scenes of like what kind of a reputation that guy had. I imagine he was some sort of a angry, bitter lone wolf character, but we'll just figure it out. Biden talking about assault weapons bans, U.S. troops in the Baltics showing signs of unity to Ukraine. I figured I'd throw a nothing burger in here. Last time we learned about the giant goldfish. Now we'll learn about the turkeys flocking to California, flocking to a neighborhood in California. And then an interesting little 5-minute segment on the link between hookup culture and sexual difficulties. Advice from a Christian counselor. So, yeah. We are kind of running with a new format around here. I used to have 2 main topics every day, and each topic would have at least like half an hour dedicated to it, but things are much more free anymore. I kind of just type news into YouTube and pull up whatever pops up. One of the benefits about this format is that feel free to make any requests. Like if there's some sort of breaking news that I'm missing, go ahead and hit me up with it in the chat, and there's a decent chance that we'll pull up your request. All right. Without further ado, let's get it. You're listening to the Reformed Stoic News segment. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. Okie dokie. Let's get it cranking. Walmart employee who witnessed shooting describes manager's reputation. CNN. Here we go.
Mass shooting in Virginia in the past 10 days. In the last week alone, there have been 8 mass shootings in this country, and that includes another one today in Pennsylvania. 4 teenagers wounded just a block away from a local high school. So far this year, more than 600 mass shootings. Hundreds have died, thousands more injured. The Virginia gunman, who is seen here in a video recorded in 2016 by another employee, was an overnight manager at the Walmart. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He'd been an employee at the store for more than 10 years, and during that time, several coworkers tell CNN he exhibited odd, even threatening behavior. You'll hear shortly from a woman who survived the shooting and the chilling moments she lived through. All of this comes as the suspect in another mass shooting appeared in court for the first time today via video, accused of shooting and killing 5 people and wounding at least 19 more over the weekend at Club Q, an LGBTQ club in Colorado.
Anderson Aldrich, did you watch the video concerning your constitutional rights in this case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
No.
The 22-year-old suspect was released from the hospital, booked into the El Paso County Jail. You can see here in the booking
That was pretty underwhelming.
photo, those facial bruises. The suspect was tackled, kicked in the head, beaten with the handgun by heroic patrons that night. Let's begin with Brian Todd, who is out front tonight in Chesapeake, Virginia. Brian, what is the latest on that shooting and the aftermath there?
Erica, we have new information tonight from the Chesapeake police. They're saying that the suspect, 31-year-old Andre Bing, did not wear body armor or a ballistic vest during the shooting. The police say that at least 50 people are believed to have been inside this Walmart at the time of the shooting last night. To get you an idea of the kind of carnage and violence that was experienced here, the police now say that processing this crime scene is going to take days.
He just looked around the room and just shot, and there were people just dropping to the floor.
Another mass shooting, less than 70 hours after one in Colorado. This time at a Chesapeake, Virginia Walmart, busy with holiday shoppers. Breonna Tyler, an employee who witnessed the shooting, recounting the horror of what took place last night just after she arrived for her overnight shift.
He shot near my head, and it was about inches away. But in that moment, it still hadn't really kicked in that it was real, because I was thinking it was like a simulation type of thing. Like, this is what we do if we have an active shooter. And the reason why I think it was that was because I've recognized his face.
The city of Chesapeake identifying the shooter as 31-year-old Andre Bing. Walmart confirms Bing was an overnight team leader. His home seen here with the door smashed in by police when they and other agents were on the scene investigating. Police say the gunman was armed with several magazines and a pistol that he used to kill at least 6 people. 2 of the victims were found dead in the break room, along with the gunman, who police believe died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Another victim was found near the front of the store. 3 victims were taken to local hospitals but later died. At least 6 other victims were also taken to the hospital, with 2 in critical condition. Breonna telling us of warnings she'd gotten from other employees about Bing.
They warned me that he was just the manager to look out for, pretty much. You know, he would write you up just because he could, or just if you did something that he wasn't a very, big fan of. You know, he picked a lot. I guess that's what I heard. It's just, he was just that manager that would probably give you issues, but not anything to this extent.
Other employee witnesses in shock.
Just left out the break room, come in there, started capping people up in there, started shooting, bro.
Just 2 days before Thanksgiving, family members receiving frightening calls and texts from their loved ones.
His wife received a phone call about 10:18 saying that he had been shot. He clocks in at 10, so he hadn't even been there 10 minutes.
Joetta Jeffrey says her mother was inside the store during the shooting and sent her these text messages saying there was an active shooter in the store. Those surviving the incident, thankful.
Could be all gone in the blink of an eye, literally. Like, my life truly did flash before my eyes.
Now, we have asked Walmart to respond to Breonna Tyler's account that she had been previously warned by other employees to watch out for Andre Bing. We have asked Walmart whether Bing was ever the subject of any disciplinary measures or if any other employees had ever complained about him. They have not responded to those questions. Erica?
Brian Todd, appreciate the reporting. Thank you.
Oh, you guys. So the stuff that this got me thinking is like the news is starting to attack NEETs and the kind of men who are leaving society behind. They're saying that NEETs are usually the people who do this, or they're trying to box in like, you know, lonely guys and guys who are leaving society behind and who aren't working. They're trying to box them in like these shooters are coming from that pool of men. But the way that I feel, man, is like I don't want to be like a part of this society, you know? The kind of society that causes this kind of stuff. And then people are like, what do you mean the society that causes this kind of stuff? Like, are you saying that you can see from the shooter's perspective, or that you're like trying to humanize the shooter, or you understand? I'm not saying I understand why anybody would do that. I mean, I would never do that. I know that, but a lot of men feel like there's nowhere to go in this society. It feels like it's a dead end, like you're on a treadmill and you got a carrot in front of you and you can just never get the carrot. And I don't know, dude. I'm not trying to say I understand why shooting's happening. I personally think that most of them are glow ops that are designed to like usher in a new world order in this country. But regardless, assuming that the shootings are genuine and these are just unhinged men going fucking crazy, I don't want to be a part of this society where this shit's happening, dude. You know, I think a lot of men just wanted to live the white picket fence, because the way that we grew up, the kind of silent agreement from television and what we were taught in school is like, you get good grades, get a job, go to school, get a degree, and you'll be able to get everything you want in life. You know, you'll be able to find a relationship and have a family. I feel like my generation's pretty torn. The people who were able to get a career and a family and all that stuff, they're very defensive. They talk like how they earned it, and you're just an idiot, and you blew it, and I did everything right. They're partially right. I mean, you do have to do everything right to get there, but I think what people don't want to understand is that there are some people who are maybe doing just about everything right, and they're not making it. There's a lot of frustration out there. There's a lot of people not getting from A to B. I guess the point of everything I'm saying right now is that I think society should take away some of the stigma on being a NEET, you know, because these kind of like frustrated men, you're trying to figure out right now, how do we kind of avoid these crazy outbursts and shootings? I think if men want to bow out of society, it should maybe be more in reach. It should be more accessible, you know? If guys just think, wow, I have no place in the modern world, the work environment is a living hell for me, maybe society should start making it more acceptable to just bow out, you know? Because what's worse, a guy rotting away in his apartment, you know, eating potato chips, smoking weed, and watching Tom Green show reruns, or shooting up a fucking store? And that's a really weird way to put it. It's a way to put it like I'm trying to understand. Nobody's trying to understand the shooters is the thing. Nobody's trying. They're immediately villainized, and it's understandable. I mean, that's beyond over the top. That's like well beyond the edge. Once you decide that you just want to go unhinged and kill as many people as you can before you kill yourself, that's a pretty fucking dark place that I honestly can't really imagine myself being in. But clearly, like, there's pressure valves like exploding in the society. You know, a lot of men are just crumbling under the pressure in the society. And I think the news, the news propaganda machine, society, the leaders of society, assuming you're genuine, you're shooting yourself in the foot by suggesting that it's NEETs who are doing this. The gentle NEETs who just enjoy the glow of a television and some chalky milky and some tendies. Those are the people who saw that this society is nothing but stress and hard times, and they're bowing out. And I definitely think society's making a mistake by acting like this is them. We are not the shooters, is what I'm saying. The NEETs are gentle. We're a gentle class. We are a farming class. We've been running the Tendies farms for years. Somebody's got to do it. All right, now I'm just talking shit, but let my people go. It is not the autist NEETs of the internet. We like memes. We like Sam Hyde. I know Sam Hyde has a lot of edgy humor as well, but Sam Hyde also didn't do anything wrong. Well, maybe he did a couple of things wrong, but nothing violent. We like tendies. We like memes. We like the internet. We like being cozy. We are not the school shooters. I do not stand behind anything mass shooter. It's horrible. And I guess the whole point of everything I'm saying right now is, why don't you just let men give up on society? Like, you should make it easier for men to fucking give up, because a lot of men just feel like it's an immovable, you just can't do it, because society's not much deeper than, haha, you're short and bald. If you're short and bald, your entire fucking life could very well just be dirty looks and people treating you like you're the redheaded stepchild, like you're second best, like you're lower class, you're the butt of everybody's jokes. There's nothing better than that, is what it seems like. I think society needs to compromise with the black pill. You need to acknowledge the black pill's existence, and you need to compromise with it. There needs to be options for men, basically like UBI, dude. It's time for UBI. It's time for it to be an option. Like, you want to live in like a McShit box apartment and watch a scribbly TV with your cats until you die, then I think that should be an option. I am becoming more of a socialist as time goes on, but as I've said many times now, that dynamic, where does Christianity begin and socialism end, and what's the difference between Christianity and socialism? I'm thinking that's something that I should like study really hard and maybe write a book about. I'm thinking about it. Don't make me do it. I probably should do it. I'll probably just keep talking about it and being smug about it. Like, yeah, man, I'm going to write a book. Man, I'm going to write a book about socialism and Christianity. I bet that makes you pretty mad, huh? Next, at least give you the rest of the year. At least give me the rest of the year to be smug about writing a book that I'm probably not even going to write. Can you cover a video of Kanye, Nick Fuentes, Trump meeting? I thought you were going to say, can I do a drum cover of it? Can you do a drum cover of Nick Fuentes and Trump and Kanye? Yeah, sure. Nick Fuentes. Freemasonry. Nick Fuentes Freemasonry. What the hell is that about? Trump breaks bread with raging anti-Semite Nick Fuentes. Status quo news. We should be all right here, right? I get a little nervous about what sources I use. We should be all right here. Status quo
Hi,
news.
I'm Tina Desiree Berg reporting for Status Quo News. What do a white nationalist, an ex-president, and a famous rapper have in common? Well, it appears to be a lot more than just a quest for political power. Over Thanksgiving, there were multiple videos and
Let's Berg it.
Posts made in regards to Kanye West, Trump, and Nick Fuentes getting together for dinner at Mar-a-Lago. So apparently Kanye West has been palling around with white nationalist Nick Fuentes. Let's talk about Nick Fuentes for a second, for folks that don't know who he is. Nick is the founder of a movement called America First. He is a groyper. That is at least what his fans call him and what they call themselves. He makes a lot of posts on Telegram, but he also has a streaming service called Cozy TV, which is basically chock full of white nationalists and conspiracy theorists. Nick has been known to make lots of anti-Semitic videos and posts. Fuentes is also an avid Holocaust denier that was present at Charlottesville Unite the Right rally back a few years. He was also present at the January 6th Capitol insurrection. This week, he also engaged in a racist tirade on his Cozy TV platform.
Okay, we get it. He did a bunch of stuff that we're all supposed to outrage over. Oh! This is like when everybody's supposed to be outraged She's trying to make sure everybody's like super outraged at who Nick Fuentes is. It's like, okay, I get it. He did a lot of stuff that you think isn't allowed to happen. Like, I'm not outraged for whatever reason. Can we move on to the next segment, please?
Platform, and also posted a clip on Telegram in which he basically called for the military to go into black neighborhoods and do what needs to be done. Let's play that clip.
9 in 10 blacks vote for Democrats. Why do they do that? God only knows. Why do they play the knockout game? Why do they punch white people in the street for no reason? Why do they rob 5 7-Elevens in 30 minutes? Why do they walk around with their pants around their ankles? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not black, so it's not my experience. It's unexplainable, but this is what they do. Okay, this is how they are. It is what it is. That black vote is locked in, man. It is totally inelastic. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter what they believe or who they like. I mean, it just doesn't matter. So why would we create these opportunity zones and a platinum plan and just send the military in? Do what must be done. Send the military into these black neighborhoods, make the streets safe. They'll complain about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're never going to vote for us.
I mean, to be frank, he's right. Why would anybody that is part of a marginalized community vote for a literal neo-Nazi? He also posted this morning a video in which he lamented the fact that he can't burn women alive at the stake.
For allowing women to go out into the society and lie and bear false witness and cast spells and worship minerals and rocks, and women are out there naked and they're killing babies and they're getting to be 300 pounds and they get in your face, and we can't do anything about it. You can't hit these people. You can't punch them. They don't arrest them. And basically, they're taking over the culture on social media. I said, what happened to the good old days 1,000 years ago when people like this, instead of arguing with them or saying, hey, listen, darling, everything's okay, they would dunk them in the river or burn them alive. I said, this is the kind of thing that we need to see more of, is burning them alive a little bit more. Taking women like this, and instead of, hiring a lawyer for all this money and we're going to sue him for defamation, how about we go to the constable or whatever, we go to the police officer, the soldier stationed in the village, and say, hey, we got to burn her alive. Hey, this woman is worshiping rocks. She's bearing false witness. She's lying about men. And basically, we need to capture her and throw her in the lake. Or set her on fire. I feel like that would be more appropriate. And everybody freaked out. And this was all over Twitter. And everybody said, oh, this is horrible. Is this guy for real? Yeah, I'm for real.
He's for real. Let's look at some of his recent posts on Telegram. He says ADL is a Jew.
Okay. Does he ever hang out with Trump and Kanye? I guess it doesn't even say anything about Kanye. Okay, well, Dixie Normus is clearly like a handler, is one of my Fed handlers, and they're clearly like really triggered anytime Nick Fuentes is talked about on the stream. That much is obvious. Let's take a look at this. Pap galore.
I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a you could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Perfect.
Wow, so he's actually going to run in 24. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, it seems to me like Kanye is just pointing as many people as he can towards the Nick Fuentes honeypot. And that kind of removes a lot of the mystery for me. Like, what's Kanye doing? Whoa, what's happening right now? What's Kanye doing? He's just directing people to pre-existing honeypots, dude. Nothing burger. Okay, we're moving on. You can stop crying, Dixie Normus. You're precious. Your precious Nick Fuentes will be okay. Biden says he will continue to push for an assault weapons ban. Red flag laws. Let's sketty.
We begin with an issue that tragically keeps pushing its way to the front of the headlines: gun violence in America. According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been 610 mass shootings this year in the United States. That number was also higher than 600 in both 2020 and 2021 as well. After mass shootings this week at a nightclub in Colorado Springs and a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia, President Biden is again calling for federal action on gun reform. Speaking to reporters outside a fire station on Nantucket on Thanksgiving, he spoke about two potential reforms to help curb the violence.
Here, I'll just edit the title real quick. We'll put Nick Fuentes and Kanye in here. All right, Fuentes Ye. There we go. It just barely fits. Fuentes Ye. Here, let's put an ampersand. There's no room. There's no room for ampersand. Fuentes Ye. There we go. Are you happy now?
Red flag laws, period. Just based on knowledge, not on parents saying or loved ones saying you should arrest this person now for his own sake. It's ridiculous. We got one of the first red flag laws in the state of Delaware. My son Bo was the one enforcing it, and it made a lot of difference. It saves lives. So that's number one. Number two, the idea we still allow semi-automatic weapons to be purchased is sick. It's just sick. It has no social redeeming value. Zero. None.
The reality check here, the kind of sweeping changes that President Biden described, is action only Congress can deliver. And it's highly unlikely that the incoming House Republican majority is going to take up those issues, which means if the president is serious about pushing for gun reform on banning assault weapons, he has to move quickly while Democrats still have control. Reporters pressed him about that narrowing window for action.
Can you do anything about gun laws during the lame duck, sir?
I'm going to try.
What will you try and do?
I'm going to try to get rid of assault weapons.
Still, the president doesn't seem to have nearly enough votes to get an assault weapons ban passed in the lame duck. After mass shootings at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, and an elementary school in Uvalde earlier this year, the Democratic-controlled Congress could only reach compromise with Republicans on a narrow gun reform bill that encouraged states to pass their own red flag laws and expanded some federal background checks. Now, during that push, the House passed a national red flag law and a federal assault weapons ban, but they went nowhere in the Senate, where Democrats still need Republicans' votes to act. This is the United States has averaged about 2 mass shootings a day this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. They define a mass shooting as any incident where at least 4 victims have been shot, not including the shooter.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, see, we're already seeing the news make a correlation between the kind of people who are, conspiracy theorists and mass shooters. So basically anybody who has anti-establishment views, the kind of people who see through what our government is all about, they're going to try to keep you from getting guns, man, because you're problematic. Your thinking is problematic. Not that I necessarily want or need guns, but yeah, I think about it. I think about it sometimes. Wouldn't be so bad to have a nice, awesome cabin in the woods, lots of firewood stacked up and protected, lots of canned food, water, guns, ammunition. Ooh, feds are getting nervous. What do you think, feds? What do you think about me living in a cabin in the woods with a bunch of canned salmon? I bet that makes you pretty mad, huh? I'd make a video about it. I'd make like a smug canning, dude. Someday I'm gonna live in the woods in my cabin. I'll have a smug canning show. It's like, hey FBI, check this out. Yeah, just caught this out of the water over there. Flayed it up. Got it soaking in some oil. This bad boy will be safe on my shelf for like 4 years, baby. Woo! Good eating. He should try reading the Constitution. Maybe they should print it on $100 bills. Yep, that's pretty much that. U.S. troops in Baltics show sign of unity to Ukraine.
Families sit around the table at homes across the nation, a thought for American troops sacrificing so much this Thanksgiving. More than 1,200 of them are here in the Baltics, part of a NATO show of unity. As tensions continue in Ukraine, President Biden today with an unwavering holiday message.
I signed another drawdown of over $300 million, and there's no time. This is no time to walk away from Ukraine.
Here at Campodazi, the 1st Infantry Division apart from family these holidays. 5,000 miles from home, heading into a bitter winter, but with beloved American traditions to keep them going.
The holiday is going to be kind of hard, seeing them at the table without me. But like I said, I have a family here and we have a mission here as well.
They are on constant alert and with not much downtime. But when it comes to the Thanksgiving feast, it's the full drill.
Turkey, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, like everything. Oh, yeah.
And in place of the Thanksgiving parade, the 1st Infantry Division's Big Red Band, who traveled all the way from Kansas, sharing songs from home.
We get to play music that they're looking forward to, hopefully bring some remembrance of home to them, even though we're all away from our families, but we can still show that we're here for each other.
A parade far away from home, but full of cheer and pride. Keir Simmons, NBC News, London.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow.
Let's Ukraine it. Let's keep Americans from having guns, but let's give lots of guns to Ukraine. I'm thankful for the peace we have at home and the dedication of those that sacrifice their lives to preserve it. I can get on board with this comment. You should start learning to appreciate freedom, guys, because I feel like I see a future where it's gone. I know it would have been better to appreciate freedom like 10 or 20 years ago when we had more of it, but now is a time to just hurry up and appreciate your freedom, dude. The pinnacle of Western life was freedom, having a career, having a wife, having kids, owning a property. And my generation has spent a lot of time focusing on the fact that that's kind of out of reach for a lot of men now. You still got freedom, baby. Why do I get cozy in my apartment with my cats and watch King of the Hill High? Because I still have the freedom to, baby. I kind of like freedom. I've learned to appreciate freedom. So why am I like this political philosopher who maybe some people got me pegged as like a fascist or an authoritarian or something? I'm thinking about the future, man. And then, there's the conservative view where it's like, we got to protect it. We got to protect what we have. There's always been problems with what we have. But you know what? Now we're getting into a pretty deep discussion. Let's just chud it. Chuddy! Oh, here we go, chuds. Buckle up, chuds. Wild turkeys flock to California neighborhood. I bet the turkeys would never go to your chud neighborhood, chud. I bet that makes you pretty mad. All right, NBC News.
If you live near downtown Alameda, this is probably a familiar sight. A wild turkey casually strolling onto your front yard or across your driveway, or slowing down traffic as they cross the street.
Happy Thanksgiving, you turkey.
Is something locals say they're seeing on a daily basis.
Stopping traffic, cars have to wait at the intersection for them to cross through.
Last year we see 2 big turkeys, but now it's only one, but I still mom with like 6 babies.
Daniel Wilson with Alameda County's Vector Control says the turkeys aren't native to California and were introduced decades ago by the state's Fish and Game Commission to encourage recreational hunting. But over time, those turkeys migrated to more urban areas for obvious reasons.
It's easy to find food. The resources are good. There's no mountain lions or bobcats, chasing them.
This year alone, the county has received 24 complaints from residents regarding turkeys. That's an 80% jump compared to a decade ago. And unfortunately, there's not much the county can do about them.
It has to go to California Fish and Wildlife, to either relocate the birds, which is quite rare.
But with very few reports of foul play, it doesn't appear that locals are too concerned about the turkeys.
I think people know. A bunch of wild turkeys run around.
I feel that you just give them their space and they just go on their merry way.
They just want to go somewhere more progressive. I think the turkeys probably just wanted to go somewhere more progressive. They're probably tired of all the gun-toting, Bible-thumping rednecks who have really, closed-minded, primitive relic of the past of views on life. I think the turkeys just kind of caught on to the sense of peace and forward-moving thought that goes on in California. I think the turkeys are trying to get the hell out of there, dude. They're good for getting rid of pests. Show some love for the turkeys. +5 protection from turkeys. We could use some turkeys in Wolfgang. The turkey just casually strolling down the sidewalk. Someone told him what it was for. Let's turkey it. All right, guys. Well, I've been meaning to do a short podcast, and I think this will be it. Let's see how much time we can spend talking about this. We can probably produce at least 10, 15 minutes of discussion here. The link between hookup culture and sexual difficulties. Advice from a Christian counselor. mycounselor.online. Christian counseling. Showing the love.
Do you think there is a link between the rise of sexual difficulties in young adults and quote unquote hookup culture? It seems like modern culture has taken the true purpose of sex.
Let's go! Sweet 16 music.
Yeah, I mean, as I saw that question, there's a resounding yes, absolutely. In my mind, what we're seeing, and I would say this even shifted since I started doing counseling. It's only been 20 years. That's not that long. We have accelerated our move towards our expression of sexuality being two things really: being isolated, meaning it doesn't have to do with connection. It can either be devoid of connection via a hookup or through pornography and other things. It's devoid of connection. So it's very isolative. If that's a word, I'll make that up. It's isolating. And the second thing that there's been a rise in with this is impulsivity. Technology, and I'm not anti-technology at all, but it does some amazing things. But what it has done in the arena of sexuality has facilitated a level of being able to gratify anything, anytime, anywhere, which nurtures a destructive impulsivity in people. So sex is both isolated and it's impulsive. And so it is tragic. It is sad to see that happening. And I think what I'm seeing with, in particular, young people, which is probably even more tragic to me, is a settling, almost like, well, this is just the way sex is, I guess, rather than actually knowing that they can fight back in their own life and reclaim what sex and sexual connection can be.
Wow. Thank you for that. That is...
You know, Dixie Normus, your argument is basically like, there's no way you could ever fight this system because they have tanks and flamethrowers, so you might as well just give us whatever protection you have. It's like, oh, you know, you could never really take on the system, so you might as well just give us your fucking guns. That's pretty much all you're saying. I think it's a very bizarre argument.
Again, so simple, so helpful. And I guess this isn't really based on, so you answered the question, like, yes, the answer is simply yes, that there's that. I guess, like, when you look at, this is my own question, just building on that, like the isolation and the impulsivity, like, where do you find that when people are operating or view sex from those two lenses, like, where is like healing coming? Like, how are people discovering healing so that they don't view sex in those?
Yeah, I mean, David Koresh and his boys popped some of those fucking ATF traders' heads off like bottle rockets, and looks like it triggered you pretty bad, didn't it? I'll bet it's going to happen again, too, and next time they'll have more men, and they'll be more armed, and they'll do a better fucking job, and I don't know, maybe they'll actually back down the FBI and the ATF next time. Wouldn't that be fucking something?
One of those two ways or both those ways.
Yeah, so what I would say to people, and again, this is going to sound strange to people out there, but I think there's a time in which if we're going to get our needs met in a healthy way.
Bunch of dirty fucking ATF agents getting popped in the head. That really triggered you, didn't it?
We need to...
That's the America that I know and love.
We need to remove the avenues for them getting met in destructive ways. And what I mean by that is people say, well, I want to be more connected. I want to have more people in my life. And I'll say, well, you know, show me the apps on your phone. Like, well, those are there, but I still want to, you know, I've got Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and all these different things. And they'll say, you know, but that's just how I talk to people. And I'll say, listen, those are there, and they're immediate and they're impulsive, and they also scratch the itch without you actually getting what you need.
Wow.
So I think there's a reality. There's plenty that we could do, but I really question how much we should do when it comes to that. And I would tell even especially young people, I go, I don't know that any human being ever was meant to have what we have in our pocket and to have access like that and to not have some kind of check or balance or restriction on that. And I live that out in my own life. I mean, I have restrictions and things I just won't do, not because I'm Superman, but because I know I'm not.
Come on.
So if I want to nurture those things in my life, sometimes getting to the things you want in life, you have to remove the things that are scratching that itch, that are getting in the way, that are stifling that hunger in you, so that your hunger can go to the right spot.
That's gold right there. That is so good. And I'm about to share that with everybody I know. That is so good. I love that, scratching the itch without having to get
did anybody even listen to that? I wasn't really paying attention to that. Little distracted, getting all fucking pumped up from the bullshit that Trader Dixie Normus is saying in chat. Basically, we're never gonna fucking give up our guns, and once they try to do the gun ban, there's gonna be war. I don't care what anybody fucking says. I believe in the rednecks of the world. We've been having this discussion for a long time about gun control, and yeah, we're getting pretty closer to shit day, aren't we? Well, when shit day comes, people aren't gonna give up the guns, buddy. You're some fucking fart huffing liberal. Like, yeah, I'm sure you're a force to be reckoned with, aren't you? Christians and hookup culture. Should we try this one more time? Because I just didn't really pay attention to that video. Bishop Barron. Let's go. Let's Bishop Barron it 10 years ago. Friar Robert Barron, let's go! Oh shit. Yeah, I'm a friar. Let's get it.
The hookup culture refers to this mentality, really, that casual sexual encounters without any kind of psychological connection or relationship or personal engagement are fine. Prevalent among young people, but especially at universities. So that's where Tom Wolfe's really wonderful novel called I Am Charlotte Simmons was set. It's about a young girl who comes to an Ivy League school and finds herself completely corrupted by the sexual culture there. And in Leonard Sax's thought-provoking and disturbing book from 2006 called Why Gender Matters, what becomes clear is that he learned about the hookup culture through the armies of young women who were streaming into his office, suffering from anxiety and depression because of their immersion in this strange world. Now, you would think it was a commonplace that the hookup culture, even as you acknowledge its existence, is something which should be condemned, decried rather than celebrated. Well, I found an alternative perspective just recently. I was reading the Atlantic magazine, and there's an article there called Boys on the Side, written by a woman named Hannah Rosen. And she says, no, on the contrary, the hookup culture, especially for women, is something that should be celebrated. That it gives women a freedom and a confidence that makes it a great boon for women. Well, Rosen allows it a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she looks like the kind of woman that would think that, huh? Doesn't she just kind of have that, like, characteristic that just kind of makes it seem like it's so wonderful for women? Yeah, right.
It's a great boon for women. Well, Rosen allows it. A lot of studies have shown the sort of dark side of the hookup culture, but she argues that a closer look reveals that it's actually very beneficial. Let me just read a couple of quotes from the article. She says, for most women, the hookup culture is like an island they visit, mostly during their college years, and even then, only when they are bored or experimenting or don't know any better. But it's not a place where they drown, she says. Now, how come? Well, listen, she goes on. The most patient and thorough research about the hookup culture shows that over the long run, women benefit greatly from living in a world where they can have sexual adventure without commitment or all that much shame, and where they can enter into temporary relationships that don't get in the way of future success. Now, one might think the hookup culture will produce all sorts of victims among women. Au contraire, she says, listen, young women who choose a variety of sexual partners and steer clear of pesky relationships manage, I'm quoting now from her, manage their romantic lives like savvy headhunters. Then this, here's her kind of grand conclusion. The hookup culture is too bound up with everything that's fabulous about being a young woman in 2012. The freedom, the confidence, the knowledge that you can always depend upon yourself. Now, it's one of those articles that you're tempted just to put it down and say, I can't quite believe what I'm reading. But what I want to focus on is that last grand conclusion. Notice the things she emphasizes. So freedom, confidence, depending on yourself, are all fundamentally subjective attitudes. Now, no one in his right mind would condemn these things in themselves, but here's the point. Freedom is valuable, not so much as an end in itself. Freedom is valuable in the measure that it conduces us toward the good. Self-reliance, who's going to quarrel with that? But self-reliance is good, confidence is good, in the measure that it allows for the fully mature living of the good life. In other words, the subjective attitude always calls out toward the objective good, and there it finds its proper point of reference. What really struck me in Rosen's article was the almost complete lack of reference to the objective order. So what's the moral and ethical setting for the sexual act? No reference to it. What's the purpose and meaning of sexuality? No reference to it. What, dare I say, is the religious context for sexuality? No reference to it. And apparently it's irrelevant. All that matters is that women become free and confident and savvy headhunters. And may I suggest that phrase is very telling. Let it stay in your mind a little bit, a headhunter. This means a subjectivity that has begun to stew in its own juices. A subjectivity that is not connected to the objectively good, turns in on itself. The church refers to this, by the way, as original sin. Left to our own devices, severed from any keen sense of the objective good, we tend to rest in ourselves in a self-absorbed and finally destructive way. And see, I think that explains very well why there is indeed great sadness that comes up out of the hookup culture. You know, what comes to mind here is one of my great heroes, Bob Dylan, and one of his really great lines from a song now, it's about 20 years old, but he says, "Freedom just around the corner from you, but with truth so far off, what good would it do?" And that's exactly this point. Freedom, great. We're the land of the free. We love freedom. Who doesn't? Freedom just around the corner from you. Be a savvy headhunter. But see, with truth so far off, what good would it do? In fact, it won't do any good at all. It'll devolve. It'll turn into itself and become something very destructive. I mean, what I would say in conclusion is that sexual liberty, the hookup culture, will produce indeed a lot of savvy headhunters. I have no doubt about that. But they will find themselves in short order in Dr. Sax's office, suffering from a very deep sadness of the heart.
See, this friar has a very understanding and gentle approach, which I can really appreciate. And I think I'm the complete opposite as a Christian philosopher. And that's why, at the end of the day, I'm more of a philosopher than I am. Like, I'm not a priest. I'm not a friar or anything like that. He's very measured and polite, and he gives her point of view a full chance, and he reads her quotes, and he's very apologetic and gentle. And it's not a bad method. It shows a lot of peace, and he seems like he's a very holy man. And I would definitely, hear out a lot of these friars in the Catholic Church. Like, there's a lot of very well-studied, wise Catholics. We got to stop Catholic bashing, guys. I'm not a Catholic basher. I haven't been a Catholic basher for a long time. Yeah, the Catholic Knights and the Jesuits are part of the secret societies, but Catholics are good people, bro. I wish I would have been more of an intellectual like this when I was younger. My mom's dad, my grandpa, I called him Grandpapa on my mom's side, very intellectual Catholic man, huge library in his house. My great uncle, his brother, was a priest. My Uncle Sev, God bless you, Uncle Sev, God bless you. Grandpapa, they've all passed away now, and they were very brilliant intellectual men, very peaceful and measured. And my understanding is that they were pro-Vatican II, but I think I do believe that the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Regardless of their views, they're very intelligent men. And anyway, girls, a lot of girls are becoming more and more conscious of how important a girl's youth is, her youthful good looks. Okay, they're talking about how hookup culture, Rosenbaum or Rosen whatever, is talking about how hookup culture for women is like an island that they visit in the prime of their life. It's like, yeah, like the carousel, the dick carousel. They also visit that. That's on the island. They go to the island so they can ride the dick carousel. And the thing is, guys, if you're a good, loyal woman who is with a man, like you're a high school sweetheart, and you stayed with this guy, that's when you will be valued and respected outside of your physical prime. Because it's not like everything just hits the wall all at once. When a girl is starting to age into her 30s, a couple of wrinkles here and there, things just slowly but surely start to kind of like, just gracefully move beyond their physical prime. And when you were a loyal girl, when you were ride or die and you supported a guy before he grew into his own, like, you will be respected and valued past your physical prime. I think the reason the physical prime is becoming such a main topic these days is because women are getting so sucked into this hip-hop material bullshit where when you're 19 and you're hot, you're flipping everybody off, you're calling guys short, you're laughing in guys' faces for being bald, you are treating everyone who is sub-Chad like fucking dog shit. you're treating everyone like garbage. And guess what, men? You can take pride in the fact that all women become bald manlets at some point. The only person who ever gets to like win on this high, like being a Chad. And that's ultimately why, I mean, really the patriarchy hasn't really been overthrown. It's still best to be a Chad. I think maybe some of the intentions behind feminism is to stop making it so fucking awesome to be a Chad, right? To try to overthrow the patriarch. Those damn white males always have all the power. They have more power than ever. Dating apps have turned the fucking world into a whorehouse for Chad. Dating apps have turned the entire population into a whorehouse for Chad. So Chad always wins in this society. Chad always wins. And I think women have actually made that even worse. But only Chad wins because all of these women are going to become bald manlets when they get older. And men used to be more respectful about it. It's like, oh, honey, do you think my hair is starting to go gray? Like, do you still love me, honey? It's like, oh, I do. You'll always be my beautiful, drop-dead, gorgeous 20-year-old gal that I met at the bar. And, you know, that's just part of, like, an adorable, long-lasting relationship. A man, you know, the man is with this girl when she's in her prime, and she's always good to him, and when he goes through struggles, she doesn't leave him behind. So then once they start aging together, they hold hands, and they still kiss, and they still have passion, even though they're getting older. Both of them are getting older. But women are just cashing that ass in. Women are just cashing that ass in. When you're young and you're hot, you know it. You're taking 1 million selfies. You're looking for fucking sultans and millionaires on Instagram. You're flipping everybody off at the club. You're fucking all the bad boys. You're acting like little piggies. Suey. You want all the money. You want all the dick. You want all the Instagram followers. You want to treat everybody under you like garbage. And guess what, sweetie pants princess? Once you don't look like a little princess anymore, then it's like, oh, yeah, that guy doesn't want to date you anymore. Oh, you're ready to date a nice guy, huh? Well, you know what? I'm actually talking to somebody 5 years younger than you. I'm getting my shit together enough where, you know, some of these girls who are different than you were in your prime are checking me out. Women are doing this. I don't want to take it much deeper than that, but women are definitely doing this, bro. They are power hungry. They are just, and it's not all women, but I think probably where a lot of guys are fucking up is you just can't resist like a curvaceous hot girl, bro. The girls who are a little bit more plain Jane. But what the black pill is pointing out is like all that there is anymore is in shape and fat. It's really bleak. Like where things are with dating apps right now is if a girl has any semblance of a body, any semblance of curves, she's not fat, she's got options on dating apps. I mean, fat women have options too, but a lot of guys in the black pill community are starting to agree if a girl is not fat, she's out of your league. Like it's getting to a point where if a girl is not fat and she's in her 20s, she's out of your league. That's what the dating apps are doing. Yeah, I think we've had enough, Dixie. We get it. You have very strong opinions. Good for you. I didn't support Waco, by the way. I feel like some of the stuff I said about Waco was edgy. I wasn't an adult. That happened when I was like 2 years old. So sorry for being edgy. I don't even have any guns. But yeah, I'm kind of with the pro-gun people. Yeah, guys, so any final thoughts on that? I mean, it's just kind of the same old spiel that men have been saying a lot lately. Women, you kind of broke the contract. I feel like women are acting like pigs. They're acting like pigs. They just want to fucking party and do drugs and sleep around with Chad and bounce from 3-month relationship to relationship to relationship, just getting dicked down by Chads for like 3 months at a time until you get bored and find another one. And what women usually do is like, men do the same thing. That's what Chad does. All the men who aren't Chad are invisible to them. They're looking at the guys who they're fucking. Like, women find one of these Chads. It's like, wow, this guy says that he's been with like 10 women in the last 3 months. This guy sleeps, he's a pig. And then, he'll fuck you for a couple of weeks and then he'll fuck somebody else. And they'll be like, I can't believe that men do this. I can't believe that men do this. Well, no, that's the cream of the crop Chatty that you found on Instagram because he's famous for being a Chad. Those guys live like that. I mean, women are illogical is what it comes down to. Respectfully, women, you're illogical. You're not out there putting the big fucking pieces together. Guys like me are. Weird fucking looking high IQ guys like me. We're out here putting the big fucking pieces together. You're not. You can't see more than like 3 feet into the future, and you're just getting destroyed by dicks. Yeah, you're hot when you're in your 20s. You're hot when you're in your 20s, and you go through like a dick car wash, and you come out the other end a fucking mess. Your makeup is smeared. You're getting wrinkly. You got stretch marks. You got fucking busted ass surgeries. You're not looking good anymore, and you treated me like dog shit when you were young and hot, and good luck. I don't want anybody to suffer, dude, but there's a lot of people suffering in this society, and it just is what it is. It's what's happening to women. Women, when you turn 18, you got like a check for $100,000 or $1 million, and you just got to go cash it in. You just got to go find a high-status guy that will stay with you, okay? Like, you tell that guy, no, I'm the real deal. I'm not going to fuck you. I'm holding out for a traditional guy. Like, do you love me? Do you want to get married? Are you the real deal? You get this check just for being an 18-year-old girl, but you got to find somebody who will take care of that ass and be honorable and have kids with you. And the reality is, now that we're talking about patriarchy, it worked better when men chose. Women, no, patriarchy is ultimately men having authority over women. The first man who ever has authority over you is your father. And traditionally, fathers were instrumental in picking out husbands for their daughters because they have the foresight. They know the guy, like, he's a hard worker, he's a good, honest man, and he's going to take care of my daughter, and they're going to have kids, and they're going to run off to be happily ever after. Girls, you immediately play this victim card. Slavery, forcing me, freedom. Women need freedom and empowerment, and I'm independent, woman, freedom. All that amounts to you is you getting gorilla fucked by football players who come on your face and never call you again. That's your empowerment. That's your evolved, positive, forward-thinking. If this is the future, we're living in the Jetsons. We're flying around on fucking flying saucers. Enlightened women, empowerment. Come on your face. Condoms getting flushed down your toilet. A guy burps and shuts the door and never fucking calls you again. Football player, basketball player, drug dealer, Chad. All the men around you grow resentful and nobody likes you and it's fucking up the balance and it's ruining everything. Basically, your dad needed to give you some farmer. Society's all fucked up. There's a lot of other... It's to this point where, like, there's so many other aspects of society that are fucked up that are causing women to act this way. It's not really fair to a lot of women to not point that out, but you'd have to sit here and talk all day. Look, everything about post-World War II society is fucked. They turned on the big Hollywood projector and they started brainwashing all of us. They turned on the free love, hippy-dippy spook op and gave everybody acid and turned everybody into a bunch of degenerates and Luciferians. It's time for people to start digging themselves out. It's time to start getting your head straight and figuring it out, guys. Society's fucked up. It's not going to be perfect, you know? Your white picket fence might have a lot of, like, tape and Band-Aids on it, and your wife might be missing a few teeth. We gotta go for the B+ ending, guys. We got to go for second best. We got to go for plan B. How do you fix your train wreck of a life at this point? Because you were lied to. You came home and turned on Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and Comedy Central, and you were betrayed and brainwashed by Freemasons and traitors and LARPers. They got you. You've been duped. You've been duped and brainwashed and betrayed by this fucking crazy demon society. Now what? What are you going to do now? You're still alive. You still got your youth somewhat. You still got some muscles. You still got some fight in you. Fix it. Figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. And I will never be in a standoff with the ATF with fucking semi-automatics. I hope I never implied that. I got heated up over guns. You're never going to take our guns. 7076 will come again. Oh, baby. And it's going to be big. And we're going to overpower the ATF and the FBI. 1776 will commission again. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Second Amendment, baby. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Nothing's happening. I don't have any guns. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, camo men. Go fucking spook op somebody else. Shoo shoo. Shoo shoo. We're the good guys, damn it. We're the good guys. All right, anything else? I didn't get silenced, did I? No, we're hoodie. We the good guys, baby. Never guns. No guns here. All right, that's it. I'm just digging myself even deeper now. God bless you guys. Have a good weekend. Probably coffee stream tomorrow, but I find that the days are going really quick lately. I had like a busy last few days, a lot of events going on, grocery shopping, Thanksgiving stuff. Had a little inspection at the apartment a few days ago. I'm ready to relax. Stream some gaming. Maybe I'll go live later streaming a game, but I got to think about it. I got to think about what I want to play, and yeah. God bless you, friends.